death and being human. It's a peculiar feature of being human to spend much of our lives ignoring the inescapable fact that one day our physical bodies will die. Of course, we are aware of death, but we dwell in a dream that it will never happen to us or anyone we love. Given our suspension of the acceptance of death, we grant immortality to ourselves and those we love. When death occurs, the inevitable seems impossible and shakes our world apart. When acceptance finally occurs, our loved ones turn into objects of apatheotic, who had trouble with that word, perfection, to be forever venerated, and they're transfigured in mortal guise. Poet Lisel Mueller, who just died in 2020, touches on these mysteries in her poem, In Passing. She was an important poet, by the way. In Passing is a poem which is included in her Pulitzer Prize-winning collection, Alive Together. How swiftly the strained honey of afternoon light flows into darkness, and the closed bud shrugs off its special mystery in order to break into blossom, as if what exists so that it can be lost and become precious. Two centuries earlier, William Blake explored this same eternal subject. In her comment on Blake's poem, The Fly, Maria Popova wrote in the Marginalian, which is an online post mainly concerned with writers and poets. Is it any wonder that the man who saw the universe in a grain of sand should see the improbable beauty and tragedy of human existence in the ephemeral life of a fly? The poem, Little Fly, thy summer's play, my thoughtless hand has brushed away. Am I not, or am not I a fly like thee? Or art not thou a man like me? For I dance and drink and sing till some blind hand shall brush my wing. If thought is life and strength and breath, and the want of thought is death, then am I a happy fly if I live or if I die? In commenting on our collective neuroses about how we factor death into our lives, the same writer, Maria Popova, comments, and yet by some felicitous deviation from logic, I love these words, perhaps an adaptive imbecility essential for our mental and emotional survival, one of the touching incongruities that make us human, the moment something becomes precious to us, we quarantine the prospect of its loss in some chamber of the mind we choose not to enter. On some deep level, beyond the reach of reason, we come to believe that the people we love must be, for the alternative is fathomless terror, immortal. In the final pages of her autobiographic novel, The Lover, French novelist, playwright, essayist, and filmmaker Marguerite Duras, who died in 1996, captures a bewildering moment when you discover that the loved ones that you have granted immortality are mortal. On receiving a telegram from Saigon, which is now Ho Chi Minh City, carrying news that her younger brother had been killed at age 27, she describes her feelings to this news, and I paraphrase this. My younger brother, dead. At first, it's incomprehensible, and then suddenly, from all directions, from the ends of the earth comes pain. It was a mistake, and that momentary error filled the universe. The outrage was on the scale of God. My younger brother was immortal, and they hadn't noticed. Immortality had been concealed in my brother's body while he was alive, and we hadn't noticed it, that it dwelt there. Now my brother's body was dead, and the immortality with it. And the world went on without that visited body and without its visitation. It was a complete mistake, and the error, the outrage, filled the whole universe. People ought to be told of such things, ought to be taught that immortality is mortal, that it can die. It's happened before and it happens still. It doesn't ever announce itself as such. It's duplicity itself. It doesn't exist in detail, only in principle. Certain people may harbor it on condition that they don't know what they're doing, just as certain other people may detect its presence in them on the same condition that they don't know they can. Wow. What can we make of these things? Are these bewildering yet common? This is me, not Maria. Or Maria. Are these bewildering yet common responses and constructs surrounding death a mass mental aberration we have? What purpose do they serve? Well, I don't know about you, but when I have a confusing question I want clarity on, I lay out a tarot spread. That's what I do. So hoping for clarity, I decided to draw cards. My question was, why do we deal with death like we do? I used the Aleister Crowley Tarot and the Wild Unknown spread that Kim Krantz developed. We talked about her several months ago. The spread positions from left to right, beginning here, left, are past, resilience or strength, challenge, future. Oops, I missed one. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Well, we're going to review these again in a minute. And this is the wild unknown at the bottom. So past. Sorry, I'm having to reread this. Resilience, challenge. I left one out. We'll catch up to this because I have them right here. Past anyway. Past is the subject. The subject is death. Not a lot more to say about that. That's very apparent. Resilience or strength. This is the Three of Cups, the world of emotion. It's a card of celebration and happiness. Our strength in dealing with death is our love and happiness, both while we live and beyond. It transcends the veil. It is the best way to deal with the thought of death. Present. The Two of Wands is an early, immature attempt at control, and it's entitled Dominion. This is control or sovereignty over a situation. Here it is trying to deal with an issue that we can't control. It seems petulant, like, of course I can control that. I'm alive, I'm important. What's this death thing? It doesn't exist. Not for me, not for my loved ones. Challenge. This is the Knight of Discs, or Pentacles in a different deck. This particular knight is from the realm of Earth and is the slowest and least prepared knight in the court of cards. He's in a field of sunflowers and without a sword. This card makes me think of the Kenny Chesney song. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to go now. The battle cannot be won, though. We sit in our fields of delusion and resist even facing the final act. Curiously, in the original Thoth deck, he's carrying a pair of nunchucks. You may think that's a weapon, having seen Enter the Dragon, and it is in the movie. Originally, though, nunchucks were used to flail rice and break it apart. So it's not even a weapon. He's the only knight in the court cards without a sword. Future, the Eight of Wands. This tells us that the battle ends quickly and it's over. Victory or defeat. The only thing that's left is the stories we will tell about the individuals who have died. the wild unknown. The Night of Swords is the fastest and most deadly night in the court cards. Swords are the realm of air and intellect. Death comes quickly and it's done. There is no time for reflection or negotiation. We can choose to redefine the individual into a criminal, saint, or pharaoh after they die, and while we live, well, what's done is done. It's best to live a life with love and focus on things that do not die, and with the certainty of death rather than attributing immortality to our bodies. I am minded of Matthew 7:24-27, from the last words of the Sermon on the Mount. Build your house on the rock. And Christ said, everyone then who hears these words of mine and does them will be like a wise man who built his house on the rock. And the rain fell, the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, but it did not fall, because it had been founded on the rock. And everyone who hears these words of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who has built his house on the sand. And the rain fell, and the floods came. And the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell. And great was the fall of it.